Hello, friends. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Mikel Arteta is fuming with the VAR decisions and the officiation yesterday. But of course, going to be diving into his press conference reaction, looking at what he said about the Brentford goals, because for him, he says they were easily offside. Those were best decisions the linesman, the referee, and VAR should have looked at. But of course, look, we've got to move on. I want to look at his press conference reaction. I want to look at what he said, but we've got to move on. We have to focus on to the next one. Hit the like button for me. Do subscribe to the podcast as well. This is Mikel Arteta's press conference reaction. Number one, he was asked about whether the goal for Brentford was offside, and he said, yes, it just looked. I just looked back at it, and it was offside. It is frustrating. Probably they will have an explanation for it later in the week, but today we haven't got any. Looking at the images, you have to apply certain principles in defending, and you have to do that by sticking to the rules. And suddenly you apply different rules. You have to change the principles. Tell us before, because you don't hide the line that high, because you're always going to have an advantage if you get blocked. So that is Mikel Arteta first and foremost saying that given the principles and rules the Premier League has actually provided that the teams follow in terms of defending, and also what we call setting those offside traps and defense lines. It is offside. It is clearly offside. And of course, today in the morning, we have received an official statement from PGMOL, that is the leading, or the Association for Referees and Officials, saying that the linesman and the guy on the VAR, Lee Mason, did not actually take the right precautions in that scenario, right? So Mikel says it's offside. Given the rules that have been given by the Premier League, it is actually offside. When you draw the lines, it is offside. Mikel, on which action he felt was offside in the Brentford goal. It says the action when they get blocked when you're offside, right? You cannot block when you are offside. And I think that is, that is the moment they actually checked. And that is what's really, really very disappointing with, with VAR in this instant. That is the action when they checked. The other action when Christian Nogard is offside, they actually don't check that, and it's a shambles, because they have two moments where you have two offside Brentford players, and they try to look at it. They take some time, and they even don't come up with the right decision. I'm no longer fuming, to be honest. I'm just having a laugh now. I'm just having a laugh. At the officiation in the Premier League, it's an absolute shambles. So Mikel says you can't block off a player if you're offside. Okay, so we set our offside trap. It works well, but then VAR just says screw that. They're onside. Mikel on whether there was an offside in the final action for Brentford's goal. It says, I think so, because then maybe I'm hoping it's the camera, the visual. It looks like the actual action. I don't know. It's too late. The goal was allowed. We dropped 2 points, and now we've got to move on. Right? So 2 offside calls. None of them was called on that occasion, right? If he will bring it up with the Premier League, he says yes, we always assess with them. We give our views and our points, but it's late. It is actually very, very late. Actually, I think we don't need to bring it up with the Premier League. They have already accepted. They have already understood their problem and understood their mistake, and they have clearly stated it, that it should have stood, it should have been a goal, but the problem is we didn't look at the line. So right now, it's too late. There is no reason for us to go have a talk with the Premier League. It's actually very, very late. It's too late, right? Mikel Arteta on if Brentford bent the rules by influencing added on time. And he says every team tries to do one thing. That's part of the game. I actually didn't have a problem with added on time. I don't know if I was a little bit, just frustrated with our performance, but I did have a problem with added on time. Yes, 5 minutes, they were right. And then even the 2 minutes that were wasted, we actually got to play them. I just feel like we didn't have the intensity to get that game over the line. Okay. Mikel Arteta on whether it was frustrating a performance from his side. He says, I think it was really, really strong performance. We had some moments. It's a very, very tricky team to play against. They have shown that. So credit to them as well, because the results they've got against the top teams is not just a coincidence. But I think we did a lot in the game. We insisted a lot. We did more difficult things to score than scoring a goal. So Ali, to what happened in the way it happened. Okay, it's just frustrating, but that is the Premier League for you. I think Mikel will go back to this to the dressing room, talk to the team, and tell them the honest truth is we didn't deserve a point in that game. And that's why even if I talk about VAR, even when I talk about the decisions, I kind of feel we were lucky to walk away with the point on that, in that game. Ivan Toney missing from that range in the first half. William Saliba sleeping down, and Bryan Mbeumo is given a fall against him. To be honest, I don't see how Bryan Mbeumo fouls Saliba in the first half. It's not a foul. It is Saliba being shaky. He slips and Mbeumo is away. Okay, so we were lucky. So Mikel needs to talk to these boys. The pressure is getting to us, and I don't understand. It is not even 20 games, 25 games in, right? We still have so much football to play. Play game by game. Was it the Manchester City pressure? Maybe, but we didn't play well. We actually didn't play well. We got so many things right, but I don't think we really played to the peak of our powers. I don't think we are playing at the peak of our powers, really. I really don't think, right? Okay. On the team getting tired without any rotation in the lineup, Mikel says we always thought about that, and with a few players, especially when you lose. But those questions are always obvious when you drop a point or 2 points. I'm delighted, to be fair, with how the boys tried, how much we wanted with the players that we have. We try to maximize our resources. So far, they've done really well. Yeah, that's why at times I'm not fuming. That is why I'm no longer fuming at the players. I'm no longer fuming at the manager. I'm okay now. I've come down, right? And the reason is, you think about it. Just think about it. We have the smallest squad of the two teams trying to fight for the champion for the title. City have 2 players per position. Right, even after losing Zinchenko and Sterling, they have 2 players per position. There are players like Calvin Phillips that they don't use, in their squad. So we're trying to maximize our resources, and I will agree with Mikel there. We've done so well. The players have actually done so far so well, right? On our teams, on teams using a deep block against Arsenal, I think this is something that we need to mentally get used to, right? Mikel says, yeah, but it is the same with Brentford away, Fulham, Southampton, and with a lot of teams that we have beaten here. It is nothing new for us. We know every team has their way of playing, and that's what we try to do. No, absolutely not. I think Mikel needs to understand this. When the season first began, clubs were looking at us as underdogs. They were looking at this Arsenal side, young kids that are trying to play together. So they wanted to match our energy. They wanted to play at the same level as we were doing. And that's why we're having it easy in games. We're having these easy, passes. Clubs were, we were pressing them very hard. And the energy was too much. Now, clubs are giving us more respect than we deserve. And there is nothing as bad as getting more respect than you deserve from an opponent. You know what that creates? It creates for you a very hard team to break down. Look at Newcastle. Newcastle have drawn 4 of their last 5, and they have drawn 5 of their last 6 games. The reason is clubs are coming to play Newcastle, and they're coming to play the almighty billionaire Newcastle, right? They're not coming to play a relegation threatened Newcastle. They're not doing that. They're playing low blocks against Newcastle. They're trying to be the better side on evenings, on mornings, on afternoons when they play Newcastle. And that means you've got to step up your game. I mean, Manchester City have won 6 out of their last 11 Premier League titles available to win, right? But clubs do play low blocks against them. But how do you break down the low blocks? We've not found a solution, and Mikel needs to stop being adamant and stubborn. Find a way. So I don't agree with that. I don't think we've been beating every team in the same way. Fulham, Brentford in the first half of the season, it was different. Those games were a little bit easier than we've had them. On being concerned about our vulnerability at set pieces after conceding in each of our last 3 games. Are we vulnerable at set pieces? We are not vulnerable. No, I don't think we are vulnerable. We are not a side that you would say are vulnerable at set pieces. I think, look, there are a few things that you can point out. Maybe Martin Odegaard and Tarkowski. That is a mismatch. I don't think we are. But Mikel says, of course, I want to improve in each and every area. And we are the third best team in terms of defending set pieces in the league. We want to be the best. So we have disclosed that today against a team that are giving you nothing because they have created 2 set pieces at the start of play. It's their strength. It's what they do. We controlled them quite well, but in that situation, I think we controlled them. I think we controlled them because we were hoping that they were going to be offside, but they weren't. It's always unfortunate because it costs you points. Set pieces are huge in this league. That's for sure. Okay. I don't think we are vulnerable, like Mikel said. We are the third team in terms of defending well when it comes to set pieces. Last campaign as well, we were flying in set piece situations. This is a question from an overreacting journalist. No comments there. On this being the first time we've failed to win 2 league games in a row. It says, yes, you want to win as quick as possible, and we wanted to win today. You see how difficult it is for every single team to win consecutive matches, and that's when you look back at the table and look at how many points they have. It's for a reason. You need to be excellent in each and everything you do in matches, and you need certain decisions to go in your favor as well. There are a lot of things that happen in football games. On the team's schedule ahead of Wednesday's game with Manchester City, it says the schedule. Well, first, we'll train tomorrow, recover and review the match to see what we can do better and continue to do better as well. Obviously, we'll review Manchester City, and then on Monday, we'll start to look ahead to the game. Okay, interesting. On whether we'll have any mentality-based training before that encounter, before the Manchester City game, because says you have to be at your best against Brentford. It's exactly the same. It's not an issue the way the boys tried, and I look at their body language, their intentions, and how much they want it, and the reaction when they drop points, the way they dropped them. They are in a very, very great place. Nice. That's quite very, very nice from Mikel Arteta. On whether Wednesday's match has even more importance now, it says every match is important. That has been the case for the last 2 months, and it is today. It was a massive game for us. It was a big game, and we are disappointed because we wanted all 3 points. I think it's right there. Every game, massively important. Every game is a must win, but the Manchester City game now becomes do or die. We either win it or we drop points, right? We either win it and stay 6 points clear, because I know City will win today, or we drop points, we lose that game, and we are second for the first time in a very long time. This feels like 2008 vibes. This feels like when Eduardo picked up an injury and Arsenal lost the title. Those are the vibes I'm getting. I'm getting, and it is worrying me. It is absolutely worrying me, right? On whether there was a lot of tension in today's atmosphere, it says, I thought the stadium was bouncing today. There was so much with the team. They want what's best for the team, but again, they were really, really supportive with the team in the way we conceded the goal. The way the crowd reacted, obviously, we couldn't demand anything else from them today. And lastly, on whether there is a bit of a dip in Martinelli's performances, it says, I think every player has got their moment. We took Gabi off for Leo because when Leo is in those spaces, he's very, very good. He's so composed. He's constantly faking movements, playing forwards. He's got a smell for where the ball is going to land, and we believe it was the right choice to get him on today as well. So that is Mikel Arteta's press conference. Not happy with VAR and the officiation, but there is nothing to do. He says we've got to move on, focus on now. Manchester City becomes a do or die. I mean, it's one of those games where we've been waiting for them all season, and yeah, here we come. Manchester City, here they come at the Emirates Wednesday. See you soon.